Shalom Yasharala Yahawada. Brother Malak back with the lesson, biblical breakdown, scroll breakdown. This one may be a serious, depending on where the spirit takes me. Because this is a great topic. All of the lessons are great topics and revolve around great subject matter. But this one kind of hits more directly because it's something that our people have been dealing with since the inception of this corporate America, which is Babylon, through the prophecies, through the scrolls. So this is a interview with Dr. Umar. You should know Dr. Umar. You also should know the podcast that he popped out at to attend, and they're going basically on the prophecies, which is the curses of the house of Israel and the house of Judah. See, but these guys, and for the gal that's on there, they don't understand the prophecies, nor were they given the spiritual eyesight to filter out the physical with the spiritual. But see, we, on the other hand, have been given that power, have been given that spirit to filter out everything in the physical with the spiritual, that being the biblical scrolls. So they're talking about basically the poverty of the house of Judah and the house of Israel, in which they don't know that we're the house of Judah or the house of Israel. They refer to us as, Black, Negro, African American. And Dr. Umar, he's this Pan-African. He stands for all of this African talk. And I'm going to segue into him probably in part 2, maybe part 3, I don't know, about the knowledge of the prudent, those in the world that think they have the knowledge and don't know nothing at all. But it's the prophets, you, me, them, and the brothers of chiefly Great Millstone that have the knowledge. But the other brothers, the other Israelite brothers, they also have knowledge as well. In the other camps, the Israelites, we always had camps in our ancient times, and to this day we have camps and whatnot, because you can't run from history. We are who we are. We are the Hebrew Israelites, you so-called Hispanics, Native Americans, and blacks, so-called, and those are proverbs and bywords, like the prophecies state that we would be attached to. So let's dive in this, man. This is pretty. This is probably one of the best interviews this year. I have to say that this is one of the best interviews on a podcast this year, besides the Cat Williams interview. This probably would be the second best, probably the first best, because this is talking about actual, not saying that Cat Williams wasn't talking about substance, but this is talking about a lot more substance. And this is more significant. But I'll let this go ahead.
And I've been in mid-level corporate America before. The motherfuckers up there don't know what we doing down here. They leave and delegate that to you. If Joe had an HR manager that he hired to come in here and clean this motherfucking apartment, Joe might not know who the fuck cleans this apartment.
Something just hit me.
Shoot.
Are you mixed race?
No.
Or are you a bunny hopper?
Yes.
I stopped it right here because this is where it gets good. He goes into this guy named Ish. Everybody's on here. They all debating, spewing what they spewing. Now on a smaller scale, what they're saying is right. It's knowledge, but on a broader scale, on the more spiritual scale, on the scale of who the people ignorantly call God, Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai, on his scale it's really nonsense, because top tier knowledge is these biblical scrolls. Even the Edomites know that. This is why they don't really. None of these nations really bat an eye when you call yourself African or Egyptian or Kemet or Muslim or Christian or anything else. But you know what shakes their boots? You know what shakes their soul? When you Israelites return to your glory, when you Israelites return to your true heritage, when you know that you are the house of Judah and house of Israel, this is what shakes their souls, because they know this is the truth of truth. And more specifically, the prophets, the apostles. So I kind of started here because this is where it gets good. So Dr. Umar, he stands for just black, blackity, black. He's just black, blackity, black. And, he, at this part, he says, he asks Ish, are you, a bunny hopper? Do he like Edomite women? Basically, that's code for Edomite women. Are you a bunny hopper? Do you like bunnies? Do you like Edomite women? That's basically what he's saying. And Ish tells him, yeah, I'm actually, I actually rock out with a Portuguese woman. And, the Portuguese, the Edomites, they were the pioneers in the captivity of the house of Judah and Benjamin and Levi. They created the dungeons over there. They were the pioneers of it, the Portuguese. They created the slave ports right off the shores of West Africa. The Judah slave port right there. And that is the house of Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. That's how we came over here through the transatlantic slave trade, which is biblical prophecy. So I'll let them go on.
That's why you have a liberal perspective. That's not true. Because you go home to a white woman. Yes, but that's not true. I felt this way before I met my white girlfriend. So help me understand how you could be so passionate about the black. I'm passionate. I'm an objective thinker. I don't. If something makes sense. So you have no loyalty to the black community. No, I do have. I probably employ more blacks than you. Okay, so help me understand that you employ more blacks than me, but you go home to a white woman. Why you don't have a black woman? Because I fell in love with a white woman, not a black. Why didn't you fall in love with a black woman? I fell in love with a black woman. We broke up. Okay, and why didn't you fall in love with another black woman? I did that too. We broke up. Okay. And why didn't you get another one and another one and another one until you found?
So basically, Ish is saying, more so Dr. Umar is saying, when you watch the interview, you'll realize how they were agreeing, but they were disagreeing. It's a debate. Everybody has their opinion. Everyone is entitled to their opinion. So, they were agreeing, disagreeing, talking, conversating, trying to get to the bottom of why you Israelites are in the situations that you're in. But these souls wasn't chosen to understand the gospel. They wasn't chosen to basically, they weren't chosen to understand the gospel. That's just what it is. They have little specks and pieces and crumbs of the truth, but they don't have the whole truth. As the scripture says, as the prophecy says, forever learning, but not able to ever come to the truth. I want to grab that because that's in, I just roughly paraphrased it, but it's forever learning. I forget what scroll that's in. Forever learning, but never able to come into the truth. And that's the plight of our people. They want to be Pan-Africanism. They want to be Africa, Africa, black, blackity, black, black. They want to be Muslim. They want to be Christian. They want to be atheists. They want to be all of these wayward faiths and doctrines instead of what Yahweh has ordained you to be and what you were always, what your ancestors were always, or I should say, what your ancestors what was originally. You know, they want to be everything else except what their ancestors were originally. They want to be everything else except what their ancestors were originally. And that is the ancient royal regal Hebraic tribes of the house of Judah and Israel. That's who we are. You so-called Hispanics, Native Indians, and African Americans. We are the royal regal original house of Judah and Israel, bloodline descendants. And that's what these people don't understand. They can't comprehend because the Holy Spirit, the Rakach Kadash is not on them, which is the Holy Ghost or the Holy Spirit. It hasn't revealed these things unto them. It says, forever learning, but never able to come to the truth. What is that? So that's in the prophecy or the scroll of Timothy. And like I said, and you see this everywhere, man. You see Jake, I'm Muslim, I'm Buddhist, or I'm like I said, they everything else except what Yahweh told them to be and what we always have been. 2 Timothy chapter 3, verse 7, it says, ever learning and never able to come to the knowledge of the truth. Forever learning, but never able to come to the knowledge of the truth. And what is the true knowledge? Well, you are the Israelites. And we are to follow these commandments of these scrolls to the best of our ability. Not only that, we are to keep the faith of Hamashiach, Yahweh, the prodigal son. I want to pronounce that better. What is it? Prodigal son, which is Yahweh Shai. For he was the blueprint. For he was the blueprint, who they ignorantly called Jesus Christ, which his name is Yahweh Shai HaMashiach. So, yeah, man, that it's Yahweh Shai Mashiach, the chosen one, man. He's the blueprint. He's the blueprint that we're supposed to follow, and we're supposed to keep the faith of him. That's you so-called African Americans, Hispanics, and Native Indians plight. That's the goal. That's the end goal. That's the main goal. That's what you're supposed to be doing. But only the elect. Only the elect. And this is not my words. This is this is God's words, or who you call God. This is Yahweh. This is his words. This is his words that only the election, only a remnant. All of you have to understand when you go into these scrolls, man, our people, they always went off. And when they went off, Yahweh, basically kicked our people out into captivity, to exile. But within these different exiles or captivities, he always kept the remnant. He always kept the election, which was the remnant. And they were always woken back up or basically, woken back up to bring Israel back into their God, their power, which is Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai. But I'll let this continue.
The right one. Because I met a white woman that I fell in love with, and that's the person that I'm with today. And you're being disingenuous about something. That's not true. And let me tell you what you're being disingenuous about. True. Romance is a function of focus and opportunity. If I want to date an Asian, I'm going to put myself around Asian women so I can find one. If I want to date a Latino, I'm going to put myself around Latino women so I can date one. If you wanted to marry a black woman, you would have put yourself around black women so you can find one. So how did you end up with the Caucasian? No disrespect to her. No, not at all. What I'm telling you is the places that I go socially are not just monolithic. So what? I went to a white college, white job. I never bunny hopped. Listen to my question. Let me answer you. That wasn't my priority. My priority wasn't, I'm not closed off to dating Latino women. I'm not closed off to dating Asian women. I'm not closed off to...
Now, see, the knowledge they have is minimum knowledge. See, they keep separating the Latin tribes, which is the Northern Kingdom, the Dominicans, Puerto Ricans. They're the tribe of Ephraim, Simeon, and I believe Issachar. The Puerto Ricans and the Dominicans, the Mexicans, Colombians, Cubans, etc. Those that fathers go back to the house of Israel. These are the Northern Kingdom and the native Indians, Gadites, the Reubenites. This is the northerners. These are the Northern Kingdom of Israel. And they, this Dr. Umar guy, he keeps this. Don't get me wrong. I like Dr. Umar. Certain things he say I agree with, but most things he say I do agree with. But it just be the things of the Bible that he don't get, because he don't have that spiritual eyesight to understand it. Neither do the rest of these individuals on this panel, and neither do any of the individuals in general. So he separates, but he don't know that we're different tribes but the same nation. Different tribes but the same nation, and we all are from the tribes of Israel. So he can have him a Latin woman if he want a Latin woman. He can have a native Indian woman if he want a native Indian woman. And he can definitely have a black woman if he wants a black woman. Now my thing is Umar is saying how can you be pro blackity black, pro black blackity black. How can you be pro black if you like basically Gentile women? If you like heathen women? See, but this is where his knowledge is skewed. It's minor, because our ancestors, they dealt with the heathen women. They dealt with Gentile women. Now, I'm not saying, you can't deal with heathen women, because King Solomon had multiple women. Not only did he have multiple women, King Solomon had heathen women. So let's grab it. Let's grab the scrolls. Let's let the Bible speak. 1 Kings 11:3. It says, and he had 700 wives, princesses. So the princesses were Israelites. And 300 concubines. Those concubines were of the heathen women, the Gentile women. And his wives turned away his spirit, his heart, which was, King Solomon allowed these heathen women to basically spiritually turn him out. That was the sin. That was the iniquity that King Solomon did. It wasn't the fact that he had a lot of women. It was the fact that he allowed those women, the heathen women, to change his God, his faith, into their gods. That's the transgression. Another thing, King David had multiple women. And when you really do the due diligence and really do the research, in which these Bible casuals, they don't do, they listening to their pastors, they're listening to their deacons, they listening to everybody else, and they not going into the scrolls to study, to show thyself approved, and to learn it, and to write, roughly paraphrase, roughly dividing the word. King Solomon had 3 wives way before he was anointed king of Israel. How you like them apples? King David had 3 wives way before he was actually anointed the king of Judah in Israel. Well, the king of Judah, the southern kingdom. But, and I mean, in actuality, Israel too, Judah and Israel, because they wasn't split at that time. It didn't get split into Jeroboam and Rehoboam. The split didn't happen. So yeah, King David had 3 wives before he was anointed the king of Israel. He had Absalom. He had he had three wives. I don't think I jotted that down when from diving into the scrolls. But he had 3 wives before he was actual king of Israel. Before he was actually anointed before he was actually anointed king of the Jews. He had 3 wives prior on his buildup. This is the fall of the house of Saul and the rise of the house of David. Within that rising of the house of David, before he was actually anointed king of the Jews, King David, he had 3 wives prior. So this is just a 2-cut. We Israelite men can have multiple women. We keep telling you, you hard-headed, really it'd be the women of our nation, but we can have multiple women. We're royalty. We are royalty. We are royal blood. We are regal people. And you still see this practice in Africa today. You go over there to Africa right now, to the remnants of the Israelites. Well, really, it's not even the remnants. They're there. Ghana, Nigeria, Uganda, Nigeria, all the west of Africa, which those are Israelites. Those are the Judites, the Benjamites, the Levites. And we're scattered to the, south of Africa, north of Africa. We were scattered to the 4 corners. And they still practice that today. You go over there and they have multiple wives. And it's not like it is here in the West. It's not defiled, with lesbianism and flesh works and lusty lesbianism type ordeals and all of that stuff of the flesh. It's traditional building. It's traditional. It's warm. It's loving. It's a village. And that's how it was through our Israelite culture. And that's what it is, man. But yeah, man, 1 Kings 11:3 and King Solomon, and he had 700 wives. Not only did he have multiple wives, he had heathen wives. That's my point for bringing this out. So Dr. Umar is getting mad at Ish for having a Edomite. They don't know that the so-called Caucasian people are the Edomites. So he's mad at him for having an Edomite wife, but or not so much wife, but a woman. But basically, if you're having sex, then that consummates marriage. So his wife. But the thing is, if this Israelite man wants a Edomite, really she's a concubine. Really, the women of the other nations, they are concubines according to the Bible. So if he wants a Gentile concubine, then why not? The same thing with Moses. Moses, remember what happened to Aaron and his brother and sister. His brother and sister were mad at Moses because Moses had a Gentile wife. She was an Egyptian. Aaron and what's her name? Miriam, was it Miriam? Miriam and Aaron, they're Israelites from the tribe of Levi. The Levites, We think well, it ain't even we think, we know that the so-called Levites, or the tribe of Levi, are the so-called Haitians. They are the Haitians today. They're known as the Haitians. They are the tribe of Levi, the Levites. So, you hear Miriam and Aaron, they were pissed at Moses because he married a Gentile, a heathen woman, and she was a Hamite. She was a Hamite. So as you can see, there's proof that the Israelite men, we married heathen and dealt with heathen women, Gentile women. So there were only, I think it was seven nations that Yahweh told us not to deal with. Those were those I believe seven, but it was those Hamitic tribes that Yahweh said not to deal with at that time, in that period. And those were the heathen women that he said not to deal with. Now you have some people that bring out Tobit, where I think Tobit's father told him only deal with the the women of your tribe. Those that know would know. I think is that Tobit 4:12. I believe that's Tobit 4:12. Tobit 4:12, it says, "Beware of all whoredom, my son, and chiefly take a wife of the seed of your fathers, and take not a strange woman, a Gentile woman, to wife, which is not of your father's tribe. For we are the children of the prophets, Noah, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Remember, my son, that our fathers from the beginning, even they all married wives of their own kindred, and were blessed in their children, and their seed shall inherit the land." And I totally agree with that. But there's also many accounts of our fathers dealing with Gentile concubines. So, I mean, the thing is, man, it's when you allow these Gentiles to sway you from your power, man. That's what it is. Same thing with King David on another account, where Yahweh tells King David, when King David slew the Hittite. Remember when King David slew, I believe he was a Hittite or something like that. He slew one of his soldiers for Bathsheba. And remember, Yahweh said, "David, I would have given you more wives and more of everything if you would have asked." Let me see if I can find that. King David. And King David was a man of Yahweh's heart. How about that? See, this is the depths, the trenches, if you will. This is the trenches. See, we Israelites, we deal with the trenches of the Bible, of the book. We know the book. We know we digest the meat. We're not just on the milk. We understand the meat, and we're in the trenches of the Bible. But Yahweh tells David, "I would have given you more and more if you would have asked." And that was more wives, more concubines, more of anything he asked in general. And that's I think that's in the book of Samuel. It says, "I would have given you more and more." Now, am I saying you should go out there and if you're an Israelite, if you're from the stock of Jacob, and deal with a Gentile woman? I'm saying, me personally, I wouldn't do it now. If I'm being honest, if I'm being all the way honest, me personally right now, I wouldn't do it now. Though it's lawful, it's just not expedient, because I know what's coming down the pike, and I know how we're not totally in our rulership right now. That when these other prophecies take off and flick off, those offspring, those children, the confusion that it can bring right now. That's why I wouldn't I wouldn't necessarily deal with a Gentile woman. But then again, at the same token, if that Gentile woman is wants to basically convert, if she wants to convert and consider, and she understands my plight as an Israelite man, if that Gentile or that heathen woman understands my plight as a Hebrew Israelite man, as one of the sons of God, and she understands my plight and she understands, then I guess why wouldn't I? Why wouldn't I deal with her? For we are the Israelites. The Bible tells you that the world was made for our sakes. That means everything in the world was made for us, man. You can hate it or you can love it. The Bible tells you that in 2nd Esdras chapter 6, verse 59, for the world was made for our sakes. You know what? I'll grab that just to prove the point. 2nd Esdras 6:59. It says, if the world now be made for our sakes. So the world was made for the house of Judah and the house of Israel. It says, why do we not possess an inheritance with the world? How long shall this endure? And the reason why we don't possess an inheritance in this world today, because this is not our time right now to be in rulership, to be all the way honest. Acts 1:6. Remember, this is what the apostles asked Yahushua. But the time is coming to where the Israelites will rule. We will rule our society in righteousness and according to the word. Acts 1:6. When they therefore were come together, they asked of him, saying, Lord, wilt thou at this time restore again the kingdom to Israel? So you get it? This is why we're, not in Jerusalem, not in Israel, still off in exile, because we're waiting on two lingering prophecies, as I always put it, and then we will be placed back into Israel. Then the kingdom will be established, and then we can go on from there rather. So, but I'm saying, if there is a Gentile woman, a heathen woman, and she's willing to convert, she's willing to understand the plight of an Israelite man, and she wants to serve and be thy wife, which is, she's a concubine. She will be a concubine. Why not? Is what I'm saying. And even the elders, man, they talk about that. They'd tell you that, hey, man, if a Gentile, some of these Gentile women treat you better than your own women. I'll say that again. The Israelite woman, some of them hate to hear the truth, hate to hear that. You got Gentile women that'll treat you better than your own Israelite women. And who are the Israelite women? The African American women, the Native Indian women, the Hispanic women. They are the Israelite women. So you have these Gentile women, these Asians, Japanese, Caucasian, African, these other women of other nations that will treat you better than your own Israelite woman. Reason being, because they know who you are, first and foremost. And that's really why they treat you better. Our women, everybody's in the curses. We're all bombarded right now. The house of Judah and the house of Israel is bombarded. So they really don't have the knowledge. So they look at you, they look at us, you're just a nigga or a spick or an Indian. They look at you like a regular degular because they don't have the knowledge, and they don't understand who you are because of the curses, the prophecies. But these other women, these Gentile women, these heathen women, they know who we are. They know who we are because their fathers and their families, etc., and the history, they understand who we are. So that's why they treat you, and in cases, these Gentile women be treating you better. But me personally, I'm cool on women in general. Like I'm cool on women in general, man. My woman is this Bible. My woman is these prophecies. My woman is the Bible, these prophecies, and getting back what was lost. And that is the rulership of the house of Judah and the house of Israel. That's what that was. That's what that is. But what was I'm trying to think, what was I going into? I forget. But I will let the video play.
Dating white women. So again, in my search for romance, all of those things were on the table. But you do understand that by not.
Oh, and let me backtrack. Not saying that these Gentile women don't look at you like that too. Let's not get it twisted. You got most of them that look at you like that, like you just a spick, you just a nigga, you just a savage. Bywords and proverbs. So there's no Stockholm syndrome here. But what I'm saying is these heathen women, they know who we are. That's what I'm saying.
With a black woman
just as well as these Gentile and these heathen men. They know who we are. And that's why, why you think there's such a push, in which this is the whole topic. This just brings it back home. They're going into why you Israelites are in the condition that you in. Because these devils know who we are. And let's grab that. Let's grab that prophecy. Psalms 83. And this is all spirit, man. We can only do these lessons and these breakdowns and understand this Bible and filter it in and come up with these lessons only by the Rakah Kadash, the Holy Spirit, the Holy Ghost. This is truly the works of who you ignorantly call God, Yahweh. It says a song, and we're going to always bring this chapter out because it's a nuclear bomb. It's a nuclear bomb, man. It puts everything in perspective. It's a nuclear bomb. Psalms 83, verse 1-6 is a nuclear bomb, man. It really entails on why the Israelites are in the situation that they're in to some degrees, to most degrees, but some degrees. Because you got other chapters and scrolls and scriptures that entail it too. Like Baruch chapter 4 is another nuclear bomb that entails why you Israelites are in the condition that you're in, along with Deuteronomy 28. There's multiple prophecies, but this prophecy here is a nuclear bomb. At least I think so. So Psalms 83, verse 1-6, it says a song or psalm of Asaph or Asaph. It says, keep not thou silence, O Yahweh, hold not your peace, and be not still, O Yahweh. For lo, thy enemies, so even Yahweh has enemies, and technically we have enemies. It's the nations, the Gentiles, those that's trying to keep you suppressed and oppressed. I mean, I would consider that person an enemy. If you're always trying to keep me suppressed and oppressed and keep me at the bottom, you got to be an enemy. The Bible is what the Bible is. People hate the truth, but the truth is what it is. And that goes to the special number. Look at the special number, man. And I heard the number of them which were sealed. And I heard the number of them which were sealed, the special number. But continuing on, it says, for lo, thy enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against your people, which consists of you African Americans, you Native Indians, and you Hispanics or Latins. And when we talk about the Hispanics and Latins and Native Indians, and even to the African Americans, we're talking about the prototype. We're talking about the prototype. We're not talking about you Spaniards. None of the Israelites are not talking about you Spaniards, man. We're not talking about you Spaniards when we talk about the Latin tribes. We're talking about the indigenous Latin tribes that go back to the house of Israel, whose fathers are Israelites. We don't care if your mama is an Israelite and your daddy is a Spaniard or an Edomite. Then you're not a Israelite. It's about the father's seed. The father is the seed. The mama is the soil. Your mama is the soil. Your father is the seed. This is a patriarch society. The house of Judah and the house of Israel, Yahweh himself, Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai. We deal with the patriarch system. Don't get mad at me. Don't get mad at the messenger. Get mad at who you call God. Patriarch society. So it goes on the houses of your fathers. The houses of your fathers, man. The houses of your fathers. So if your mama is an Israelite and your daddy is a Gentile, then you're not a Israelite. You are the seed of your father. So we're not talking about you Spaniards. We're talking about the indigenous prototype Israelites. And the same thing for the Native Americans, Native Indians, and the same thing for the African Americans, because you have this is why we say this knowledge is so deep, it's so spiritual. You got to really be spiritual, man. That's just the best way I can put it. You got to be a very spiritual person to get this knowledge, because you have so-called African Americans, so-called Native Indians, so-called Hispanics that's walking around here, and they're not even the Israelites. They are what we call tares. Do your due diligence. You have tares amongst the houses of Judah and Israel. These are those Israelites who have Israelite mothers, but they have Gentile heathen fathers. Let me say that again slowly. You have tares amongst the houses of Judah and in the houses of Israel. Tares, they come from, no, they don't. Tares come from from being scattered through the captivities, through exile. So basically, when the Israelites were scattered, these nations, they would take the women. They would take the Israelite women and rape the Israelite women. The truth is the truth. Let's not sugarcoat it. Let's not play games. So they would take the Israelite women, in which, it's law. That's law. Those that win gets the spoils. Women are spoils. So it's the same thing. We did it to the nations as well. We did it to the Gentile nations when you go back and read the scrolls. See, but these Bible casuals, these Christians, they don't read the Bible. They're not in the trenches of the Bible. So when you conquer a nation, you take their spoils. And one of the best spoils is the women. Well, yeah. If you're a heterosexual male, then yeah, women is one of the best spoils. And yeah, women are the best spoils. So that's what we did. We took the women when we put these nations in captivity. We took the best women, the best of their women, the best looking, the best beautiful, the best desirable women. And it's going to happen again. We're going to take the best desirable women, take them for spoils, just as they done to us. In the Ishmaelite captivity, they took spoils. The Arabs actually castrated the men, so we couldn't produce, and took the beautiful women, the desirable women, and created. There you have tares, heathen fathers and Israelite mothers. That's how tares come about. That's what a tare is. So right now, even before us, you have tares amongst us. Think about it. We was in captivity when we was on those plantations. Massa, old Edomite. Here come, is his plantation, is his rule. So whatever woman he wants to, he desire and wants to lie down with, then he should do so. That's just what it is. So he would go out there and see them beautiful brown chocolate, dark chocolate, woolly hair, thick, pretty women on those plantations. And some of those were betrothed to husbands, and he is still lie down with your wife. This is what these nations did. And that's going off. You're not supposed to lie down with another man's wife, because that is adultery. That's not what you're supposed to do. But see, that's what these Edomites did. when our people was on these cotton picking plantations, or these plantations in general. They would go out there and rape the women. Then, and therefore you have tares. So these tares, they have Gentile fathers, but they have Israelite mothers. So this word is not unto you. It's unto those that have Israelite fathers. Israelite fathers, whose fathers. Now you may say, how do you know if your father's lineage goes all the way back? How do you know if you're not a tare? Well, the spirit bears witness that we are the children of God. If just for me, for example, if I was a tare, I wouldn't understand this Bible, because the only an Israelite can break down and understand the Bible. So that's how that's debunked. And then the curses, the signs, the prophecies will cleave unto the houses of Judah and the houses of Israel. That is another telltale sign that you are from the house of Judah and Israel, because these curses will cleave unto you, according to Deuteronomy 28. And I'm going to dive into that. That's how you know if you're from the stock, the royal, regal stock of the house of Judah and the house of Israel. One, the prophecies, the curses will cleave, they will cling unto you. Two, you will understand this Bible. You will understand these scrolls. You will understand the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven. That's how you can tell if you're a bloodline, royal, regal Israelite. And that's how we know we're the bloodline Israelites. And then, man, just look, the stuff we do in life in general, the way we walk, the way we talk, the way we play sports, the way we do everything else in life. It's the salt. It's with swag. It's swag. It's salt. The salt of the earth. It's just the best. That's how you know we're the Israelites. It's spiritual, man. It's just what it is. And that's how you know. Now I kind of reared a little bit, but that's just to bring it back. So this Dr. Umar guy, he basically pointing out that Ish has a Edomite woman. So how can he be quote unquote a stand-up guy for this blackety black? How can he stand up for? And we're not black. That's a byword. You're not African American. That's a byword. And this is what Dr. Umar don't get or understand. We're not Africans. We're Hebrews. We're Israelites. But see, this is that wine of Babylon that we talk about. This is that wine of Babylon. And this is what's confusing everybody. Because we're Hebrews, we're Israelites. The Africans actually sold the Hebrews. I'll say that again slowly. The Africans actually sold the Hebrews. This is how we got put on those damn slave ships. Because when we fled out of Jerusalem, Israel, from them damn Edomites, when they came and sacked the Jerusalem, Israel, Yahweh allowed it. Remember, nothing goes down unless Yahweh approves it. I'll say that again slowly. Nothing goes down unless Yahweh, the Ancient of Days, approves it. So, you know, the Israelites, we just hard-headed, man. And when you really get the meat of it, we were made to just be like that. To be we're just like a hard-headed child. We're just a stubborn, hard-headed child. A disobedient child, bad child. You know how you got people that just got bad kids. Just, they like, man, damn, your kid's bad. You need to whoop them. That's how the Israelites were, man. We just stiff-necked, hard-headed, but we were created to be that. It says that the creature was subject to vanity, not willingly, but by him that ordained it. So he made us like that. So every time we went off and didn't keep the commandments, he either sent the sword, and that sword, he sent judgment, which is the sword. It can be the sword, it can be, in this case, it was the sword. He sent those funky Edomites, and they sacked Jerusalem and Israel. And that's how we ran out of Jerusalem, Israel, into the wilderness, which is Africa. And that's how we ran into Africa and created Negro land. Ding, 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 Negro land. That's how Negro land became what it became. And in the midst of Negro land, in the old 1700 maps, you have the kingdom of Judah. That's how we got into Africa. And then from there, we kept going off. We wasn't keeping the commandments there. And Yahweh brought more sword, more judgment upon us. And then that's how the Arabs, the Ishmaelites, they conspired against all of them. I was just into that prophecy. So that brings it back there. That's where I was at. So that's just the spirit that brought me right back where I was at. So they all conspired against the houses of Judah, which is you African Americans, you Jamaicans, you Haitians, the three tribes, the southern kingdom. They conspired against us. They came against the shores of West Africa, and they went to go get the regal Negro people, which were of the Hebrews, the Israelites, West Africa, you West Africans, you Igbos, and right, the and they know who we are, man. They always knew who we were. They conspired against us, so they know who we are. You Igbos, you Ashanti tribes, you Igbo tribes, you Yoruba tribes, you Bantu tribes. You are the West Africans. This is what you're known as today, as these tribes and as West Africans, but you're the Israelites. You're Judah and Benjamin and Levi, and these devils know this. That's why they're going to get judged for everything that they're doing to us and what they have done to us. All nations, all nations. So the Arabs, man, well, the Hamites, we were in their land, rolling from the persecution that came by Yahweh, via the damn Edomites that sacked Jerusalem. So we ran into the wilderness, which was the land of Ham, the Hamites, which is Africa. And we dwelled there, and we built Negro land and built and built and built. And then more prophecy came because we wasn't keeping the commandments. And then Yahweh sent the Hamites against us because we were two different tribes. Just because we got the same skin tone don't mean we're the same people. Just because we have the same skin tone doesn't mean we're the same people, man. That's what you dumb Israelites don't get. So the Africans, they sold us to the Arabs, and the Arabs sold us to the Edomites. So Ishmael, Edom, and Ham, they all conspired against the children of God, the Israelites. And the Northern Kingdom, they were over here in America by that time. Remember, the Northern Kingdom, they were I believe the Northern Kingdom were here in America by that time. The 10 tribes were here in America. That's where the Latin tribes and the Native Indian tribes come into play. Puerto Ricans, Dominicans, Cubans, the Gadites, the Reubenites, the Northern Kingdom, which are Ephraim, Simeon, and all of them come in play. But they were already on the other end of the earth. All of this knowledge is by the Holy Spirit, man. This is what the Holy Spirit can do. This is the power of God. Not only is it by that, it's also by studying to show thyself approved, rightfully dividing the word. And you have to do secular history. That's really where everything can tie in, man. When you do the secular history, you'll tie everything in. Something that Bible casuals, something that these Christians, they don't do. So that's the history, man. So when this prophecy comes to play, it's just what it is. Psalms 83, it says, "For lo, thy enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, Come, and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. For they have consulted together with one consent." So all of these nations, those three nations, the top three nations, Edom and Edom, they are the so-called Caucasians. Yes, the Edomites are the Caucasians. Yes, truth is stranger than fiction. They're actually our ancestors' twin brother. I'll say that again. The Caucasians, and to bring it back home, that Dr. Umar is going ham on. Oh, you like them snow bunnies. You like those snow bunnies. You like those snow bunnies. Yeah, well, the snow bunnies, they're Edomites, and they're actually our ancestors' twin brother, which is Esau. Jacob and Esau. Esau and Jacob. So but they don't get this. They don't understand this knowledge. This is deep top tier knowledge, man. This is knowledge. This is knowledge above knowledge. But he wouldn't understand that because first and foremost, you got to have faith to believe in the Bible anyway. You got to have faith to believe in the Bible anyway. And most people don't believe in the Bible, so they don't get that faith. They don't get the spiritual power to understand, which brings everything all together. But yeah, so them snow bunnies he talking about, hey, I'm going to have me, Yahweh willing, I'm going to have me I'm going to have me some snow. I'm going to be playing in the snow with my mittens and my winter hat and my winter boots and my winter coat. I'll say that again. When it comes to the snow bunnies, and when it comes to the snow, I'm going to have my winter hat, my winter boots, my mittens, my gloves, and my winter coat on. I'm going to be playing in the snow. And they're going to be concubines. They're going to be maid servants. They're going to be maid servants and concubines. So I don't understand. But anyway, they're the Edomites, man. They're the twin brother of our ancestor Jacob. We come out of the same, technically, we come out of the same seed and the same vagina, the same soil, the same rod. Esau and Jacob and Esau. So when he talks about the snow bunnies, I mean they're the Edomites. We all have a common ancestor. All the nations have a common ancestor, which is Abraham. But Psalms 83, it says, "For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee, the tabernacles of Edom and the Ishmaelites of Moab and the Hagarenes, Jabal, Ammon, and Amalek. The Philistines with the inhabitants of Tyre, Ashur also join with them. They have hope in the children of Lot, Salah." So these are all of the Gentile heathen nations. And hey, Yahweh willing, I'm gonna have a lot of not just from the stock of Edom. I'm gonna have me some desirable Asian women. I'm gonna have me some desirable Japanese women. I'm gonna have me some desirable African Hamite women. I'm gonna have me some desirable women. Yahweh willing, in that day in the kingdom, I'm gonna have me a bunch of women, just as my forefather, just as my forefather, King David and King Solomon and Moses. Moses had him an Egyptian woman. Judah, when you go into the history and the stories, man, our people dealt with the Gentile women and had kids with the Gentile women, the Hamite women, the African women, the African women. I mean, we dealt with the women because, contrary to unpopular belief, man, what Dr. Umar don't get is that the seed identifies the child. Let's grab that. Numbers 118. Numbers 118. It says, "And they assembled all the congregation together of the first day of the second month, and they declared their pedigrees, bloodline, their lineages, after their families by the houses of their fathers." This is what Dr. Umar don't get with all this blackety black blackety black blackety black movement that he pushes. The Israelite man, or any man for that general, can really lie with any woman he wants to lie with, because his seed, his offspring, is going to be is going to be him, because the seed is determined by the pedigree of its father. That's what Dr. Umar don't get. The seed is determined by the houses of their fathers, not the houses of their mothers. The mother is the soil, but the seed is of the father. This is the perfect analogy. If you take an apple seed and plant it in America, and then take the apple seed and plant it in China, are the trees not apple trees? Are the two trees not apple trees? Yes, they're both apple trees. If you plant an orange tree inside Russia and then plant an orange tree inside Japan, Are the two trees not orange trees? Yes, they're orange trees. Now they're going to have different different looks, maybe different way that this leaf or the leaves grow this way, and this has this sturdier way of movement, and it looks this way, and because that's the different soil and a different climate that is in. That represents your mother. You're going to have features of your mother. You're going to have ways of your mom. You're going to have your looks of your mom, because it's your mama is the other part of those, that makeup. But you still are the seed of your father. It doesn't matter. You still are the seed of your father. And this is what the prophecies is telling us. Numbers 1:18. And they assembled all the congregation together of the first day of the second month, and they declared their pedigrees after the families by the houses of their fathers, according to the number of the names from 20 years old and upward by the poll. Now, if that wasn't so, if this wasn't so, right? And I'm going to end this. This is part 1, because I don't want it to be that long.